Hello and welcome back to Clarity TV, Clarity Social TV. My name is Barbara Gray. This is Paul Church.
Good afternoon, everybody.
And this morning we had a superb hour and a little bit. You definitely enjoyed Linda Williams' new Richelieu plates. And
easy for Barb to say.
Easy for me to say. Not so easy for him.
Richelieu.
You really did enjoy, well, the sales reflect that.
They
so
do
many thanks for your support. And I thought this afternoon we thought we'd have another little look at the plates, some of the samples, and then we'd sort of go in a little bit further into that demonstration, if that's okay with you.
And have a look at some of the different techniques and stuff like that. Lovely Grace is in the room with you, so all
Grace
the way
is
over
in
in
the
New
room.
York.
Yeah, all the
I
way
can see
from
she's
Brooklyn.
popped up there.
Hi, Grace.
Hopefully the sound is nice and clear. And so should we have a look at the bundle that we have on offer?
I would think that's the best place to start.
Right.
So if we have a look at the actual bundle, you'll see that there are 5 plates in total, designed by Linda herself. These are those Richelieu plates, and what a wonderful job she's done of these.
They really are, because what I love about these is that they're plates in their own right, aren't they?
Yeah.
You've got so many different elements on there.
That's it. And even if you're starting out on your parching journey, these plates are just gorgeous. The thing about them is you can get on the bus with these, and you can get off the bus at many different stops.
Absolutely.
So for example, you can trace them out. You can trace them out, and then you can add white work. You can trace them out, add white work and colour.
Yeah.
You can trace them out, add white work, colour and perforate. Or finally, you can even picot cut. So, you know, there's so much. You can add that Richelieu lace plate, the one in the corner there, or you can omit it. You can mix and match the elements. You can take little flowers out. You can add butterflies. There's just so much in these 5 plates.
There really is. And the item number, if you're interested in that, the item number at the top of your screen, which is 42439, that's the code that you will either drop into the claritycrafts.com search engine, or you can give our UK call centre a call, which are located right underneath the studio here on 01732 868 215. And also, if you go to the Clarity Crafts website, on the front page, you'll see a little button that says Clarity TV. Everything that we're showcasing in all the different forms available individually can all be found there for you to enjoy.
One of the things I wanted to mention that we don't always shout about, but we are makers. The best thing about Clarity Crafts is that we are manufacturers. The worst thing about Clarity Crafts is that we're manufacturers. In the light of what happened last year, you know, you scale up to accommodate a TV channel, and we're still scaled up for it, you know.
That's right.
So aren't we grateful that Linda has given us these fantastic designs, and that you're enjoying them and buying them?
Definitely.
So we make them. My husband Dave is downstairs on the machines, so to speak, and he's they're making them, packing them, and they're going out the door already. So many thanks for that. And then of course we've got stamp manufacturing in house too.
Yeah.
And we're scaling that up. We're doing what we're calling. I'm just letting a few friends join us.
Yeah.
We're diversifying, and we're going into, with the stamp production, we're going into what we call white labeling. So we're starting to make for other designers and other companies, which is great, you know, because we understand the importance of keeping it tight, keep it, you know, little and often, little runs more regularly than huge runs like we used to have to do.
And it's that personal touch as well, isn't it? The personal service that we can offer to people that want to do that type of thing.
That's exactly right. And so, for example, Janice Phillips, my friend Janice Phillips, we're just about to launch imminently her gorgeous photo stamps that we've been working on in collaboration. So she's excited, and we're in touch with each other pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So I look forward to seeing that launch.
And she'll be with us next month, I believe, to come launch them here as well.
Yeah, that's right. She's going to launch them under her own steam first.
Yeah.
And then she's coming here to launch them too. And that'll be on the 7th, I think.
Friday the 7th of February.
Friday the 7th of February.
Yeah,
so
definitely
that's
a date
exciting.
to put in your diary.
Yeah. So I can see our friends are joining us now.
They are indeed. I'm sure the sound is nice and clear. Gracie, could you just drop me a text to make sure the sound is clear? I'm sure you would have let me know by now.
Somebody would have, you know, wouldn't you?
That's why I went back
it's
to
Friday.
the chat, just in case there was any messages that I couldn't hear. But yeah.
So let's go back to these beautiful plates of Linda's.
Yes. So what was the whole idea of the Richelieu?
The Richelieu.
Richelieu.
There's something that have always appealed to me.
Yeah.
They're the sort of parchment. It's very traditional parchment, actually. And you see a lot of it in Europe. So, for example, when Linda and I went to Slovenia, or if you look at a lot of the Czechoslovakian, the East Bloc, the Germans, the French, if you look at the Europe, the continental kind of parchment art, you often see that kind of Spanish. You know, you see a lot of it on the continent. And so my mum is German.
Yes, she
Hello,
is.
Mum, I know you're
Hi,
watching.
Hilma.
And so she gave me, and this is like an heirloom, if you like. So it is come down from her mum, my Oma.
Yeah.
Right, my Oma gave it to my mum, my mutti, and then my mutti gave it to me.
Nice. And no doubt you'll pass this down to Gracie.
Oh, absolutely. She's already got
her eyes on it.
Got her eye on it. So you can see here that this, for example, is what we call Richelieu lace. This is a really old one from my Oma. But what the idea is, you see, that you get these so-called sprigs or pieces of artwork or designs.
Yeah.
And then there's then they're joined with these bars or brides, as they're called.
Right.
Right. So that, if you look at the actual plate, let's have a look at a piece of artwork, and then you'll see exactly here. You can see how Linda has taken this kind of design, this Richelieu lace. You can see exactly how it's translated, can't you?
Yeah.
If you just dig me out that the pink one, you can see this is what I really like. Is that these bars, these connectors? Doesn't that look lovely in the background like that?
Doesn't it? It really does.
That's something that we might have to consider on our website, that we back them like that, you know. Isn't that lovely on a banner?
Wow.
Yep. But what I really like, if you look at this particular one here, using one of the plates, there, like that.
Yeah.
Right, so there it is.
It's taking it exactly
as it comes. Oh, I need to flip it. There we are. See, so it's exactly as it comes.
Yeah.
But she hasn't used the plate that gives us the bars.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a separate place, so it gives you those options to add or take away.
So this is the same plate. Here we are, with the bars added in the background. And this is it without the bars, with just pink part. Doesn't that look different?
It really does, doesn't it? Just by the introduction of those little bars, gives it more of the lace effect.
Look. Yeah. And the cutting, you know, when you look, the picot cutting, it's an added option. You don't have to if you don't want to. What's lovely, look inside the leaves and the flowers, and we just started touching on this in the 10 o'clock show, that see the perforating?
Yeah.
That what that does is it debosses, it pushes the image down. Now this was what I was always attracted to. If we look at this one, these are perfect examples. Let me show you, for example, there. So you can see how the white work brings it up,
is more prominent,
embosses
than normal,
it, raises it, and then the perforating, it debosses the area.
Isn't it weird how it does that, just by making some perforations into a piece of parchment?
I know. It's really, really fascinating. And there are some examples as well where instead of the white work, there's stippling. So that's another really neat way of getting a fantastic
I think it's on that
texture.
One there, isn't it?
This is a stipple. So if you look at this one here, you can see the white work is less. It's more stippled. You see dot, 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 dot.
So the stippling is like the process where you take a one needle bold or one needle fine, and you just like a sewing machine, but very onto a piece of card.
Exactly that. But the white work is there as well before you start
to put
stippling.
the base coat
so you've got the base colour down.
Yes.
I mean, if all else fails, you can always, and I have it on authority from Linda herself.
We have it in writing from Linda.
We've got it in writing, in fact, that you can always put a little bit of white pencil work in the background.
Yes.
So that and then start your stippling.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. Or even here, if you feel the parchment is starting to buckle a little bit.
Yes.
Then you just add the finishing. We'll show you in a minute when we get
got
to it.
lovely Sam Crow in the room with us. Oh, is she going to get into this technique, do you reckon?
I doubt it very much.
She'd probably use the lace on the gel plate.
Yeah, I know. Not a chance. This is a family heirloom, Fanny.
Wouldn't she? That's what she would do. She would use it to pull prints.
She really would, yeah.
You better hide that with
Not
next
happening. Right, so that's the lace inspiration. That's where it came from. And then Linda and I sort of collaborated, and she came up with these masterpieces.
These are stunning.
So the 4 plates. If you just wanted to just show me, if you want to give us those
so there's
examples,
that one there.
Just refresh while our friends are joining us.
There we go.
And you can see how you can just use elements like that. See, one of the other things about the design, you see how, because the rose isn't a single line.
Yes.
See, let me show you an example of a single line rose.
Yes.
So there's a single line rose.
Okay.
That's fine. That works great. And you also can see how we've got the dots in to deboss.
Yeah.
Now compare the rose next to it, and you'll see it's a double line rose.
Yes.
So that double line, that invites you to create a lot of white work. But let me take this one and let me put that over the top. And now somebody, and I'll show you the name in a minute, but you see the little lines in there.
Oh, yeah.
See, so now we've got white work, we've got stippling in that area. And then you've also got little lines that you can create.
That's been done with a 1 needle tool.
I do too.
Because it's so fine.
Yeah. You see that? That's good, isn't it?
Wow.
I know. So there we are. And that one is done by Karen Jackson.
Nice.
There we are. Thank you, Karen. So lots of ideas here.
Yeah. And then we've got the next one in the collection.
So this one I really liked because I really love the butterflies on here. So you've got lots of different elements and assets, but even more interestingly, new is that lovely pattern in the middle with those tiny little V's. It looks like something, do you know, it almost looks like something that you would find if you like in Mexico or in New Mexico, often on church walls or in
like an Aztec
little chapels.
Type of...
Yeah, you find these little patterns all the way down the wall, really beautiful. I've often sat in these chapels and looked at the little, the painted marks, and this would be a whole wall, or like the fleur de lis, you know, that kind of thing, just in repeat patterns almost, and they're all hand painted on the walls. Very lovely, very lovely. So that's a gorgeous one, and we've got some artwork to show there too. So this is one by Frances, if I'm not mistaken. And you can see here how she's, so she's used some white work, some embossing, some line art, you know, and just to recap what we said in the 10 o'clock show, if you did want to do the white work, then you're going to flip your tool around, and instead of using the number 1 tool, you're going to use the number 2 tool with a little ball at the end when you're embossing, or even the number 3 or 4 tool, depending on how soft you want that line art to be.
How good your eyesight is.
And how good your eyesight is, yeah. So that's the second one. And there's a nice piece of artwork.
Isn't that very fresh looking?
Yeah, it's
really
lovely.
Vibrant.
This is really interesting because the border, this is interesting, is that this is separate again. See, so if I mean, parchment, you'd think it's so delicate.
No. It is, once you mark it, it's marked, isn't it? But it has got that robustness to it.
It really does, doesn't it? So you can see here how the plate is just as it comes, like that. There's the butterfly. There's the butterfly up there. But if I just take a piece of card, I can show you that is a completely separate element. Let me show you. Look, isn't that fabulous?
Wow.
I know. So this is all picot cut. 2 needle fine. Or 2 needle bold. Choice is yours.
However, it doesn't have to be a choice if you go for that collection we put together.
That segued in very nicely there, Mr. Church. I don't know.
There we go. Let me bring up the details on this on the screen for you. But we were talking this morning, wasn't you, on your way in, about sort of like, you need the sort of the fine needle, I'll find them in a minute. Where's my list gone? What item number it is? I mean, the item number you can see there on the screen. So it's number 12. There we go. Last one, it would be the last one, wouldn't it? 70479. Now, normally these are £9.99 each because they're perforating tools. And what we're giving you is the 1 needle fine, the 2 needle fine, the 1 needle bold, and the 2 needle bold.
All four.
All four of them for £19.96 plus your Clarity Craft Club discount. So this is better than half price. And I think with the 1 and the 2 needle, they're ones that it's like a groovy guard. You always need more than one groovy guard, and to have these on the go if you're going out and about traveling and stuff like that. But it's also good for your paper piercing if you're using the embroidery stuff as well.
And the other thing is that if you're new to this completely and you haven't got any of these and you're thinking, well, I just want the bold ones to start with, you're getting the super fine ones for free.
Yeah.
And then that way you can
you start off on the bold, and then progress up to the fine.
I would also just note that we have a club members sale in February. They will not be less expensive than this.
No.
This is the best price that you will see this year.
Because if you was a club member and you go to that sale when we launched that, you wouldn't get your additional club discount
on it
as well.
So if you're thinking, well, I'll hang on till the club sale, don't. And the reason we're doing this is because we've got a lot of them in stock.
And also, it just works perfectly with what we're bringing to you today.
Yeah, it totally does.
To get that sort of that debossed effect, that's definitely where those needle tools come into play.
And if you're going to be doing any online workshops with us, then you're going to, it'll be really nice for us to be able to bounce between the fine and the bold, depending on your skill level, and know that you've got them in the cupboard.
And also, you did that lovely free craft along on Wednesday evening, didn't you? With this lovely coaster.
Yeah.
And you were showcasing the 2 and the 1 needle tool. Because often if you get into small areas...
it was so much easier with the tiny.
Yeah, but sometimes it's such a small area that you need that 1 needle just to put that extra little perforation in, don't you?
That's exactly right. Yeah, and I also mentioned this morning with the multi-needle tools that you can only shallow perforate because you've got like 7 or 8 needles perforating the parchment at one time. And then what you do is you shallow perforate and then you go in with it. I know you wonder, don't you? I do.
To re-perforate.
Then you re-perforate, you deep perforate but you need the fine needles because otherwise the holes are too big and then they start splitting the parchment. Especially when you've got 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Some of these multi-needle tools are quite so, like the semicircle one, or the ones that go round in a.
Yep. So you got the
scallop ones
and the scallop, the semicircles,
and the almonds and that. There's loads of needles in there, and you really can only, or the Pico V's. There's lots of, there's lots of needles there. So you just literally scar or mark the parchment, don't you? Shallowly.
Because if you go in full depth on a super foam,
it creases it.
It buckles.
It does. Yeah. I've tried trying to cut corners.
No. So,
okay, next one.
This is the next one we're going to share with you.
That's the one we're going to do. That's our demo one. Love it.
There we go. So that piece of artwork there.
So that's
no
lovely.
Cutting at all, apart from the outside, which is optional.
Yeah. And again, I just want to grab a little piece of, because I think sometimes you can't see what you're looking at. There's so much of it. But this is all one piece. If I just hold this up to the camera, like so, you can see what I'm talking about, the multi-needle tool.
Yeah.
So that's is that a semicircle?
That'd be the semicircle. I reckon that's the large.
So you need a fine needle tool to re-perforate
so
those
that it
holes.
makes the holes more crisp when you come to pico cutting.
So and it makes it easier to locate.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you can't get through. So this is very nice. You can see exactly where it's come from. And there's nothing there. No perforating.
No, it's just traced
around the
out
outside.
whitework and colour.
Yeah.
That's it. Then this lovely piece from Francis Knott.
Love it. So you can see here, we've got the flowers, but then she's introduced, I think that's the part of the original plate. And she's introduced that really fine, very fine lace work.
So it looks quite prominent and bright there, but she's gone on very
light.
Like
she's done it by hand, with a 1 needle. I would say that Francis has done that very, very lightly with a 1 needle tool.
Yes.
With an embossing.
With
the needle tool.
Yeah.
She's done. She's
Because
scratched
it is so fine.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah, that's lovely. And then the last one in the collection. There we go.
Is the hearts one, which is again something quite spectacular. Who would think to cut out the hearts like that? Like,
Not me.
well, only Francis. Yeah, but very, very lovely. And you can see just how different it looks then when you, and how versatile. So you've got the same, exactly the same design.
Layout, yeah.
Okay, changing the centers. There's so much versatility, so much workability on these plates.
Yeah, and the shadow embossing on here, and
Yeah.
they look completely
How
different in
different
the
does that
different
look?
color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very interesting work, isn't it? Yeah.
And then the final one, there's no cutting on this at all. It's
No.
the Pico dies to cut round the outside.
That's it. And it's just coloured in really
Coloured in,
beautifully.
Yeah.
And it's taking the grid from that heart, transferring it into there.
I think it should be in there. I think Jazz forgot to trace it out.
Oh,
I
did
think
she?
it's on the plate. I've only just noticed that.
Oh, right.
Where's the plate? I think it's already.
Is
I think
it?
it is on there. Yeah, it's on the plate.
Okay.
Jazz forgot to
There you go.
trace it out.
But that's good, because it means you don't have to if you don't want to. So that means, for example, you got that in there. When we test them, see, Jazz tests them, and then we use the
and then
tests
we use that,
if they're
save doing
successful.
it again.
But if you didn't want to use the grid, you don't have to.
Absolutely.
And that
just like what
goes
Francis
straight
has done.
back to where you don't have to. See?
Yeah.
It's cool, isn't it?
I know.
I know. Very, very beautiful. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Okay, Paul, can I give you all
can
those?
Indeed.
There
Should
we go.
Come back to the
very
front?
carefully, yeah.
There we go.
Whee! All right.
So what are you going to show us?
Well, first of all, I wanted to look at the downloads, if I may.
Okay, of course.
So the
We're
good
being polite
news,
now.
one of the the good news is that on our website, when you go to the front page, in the top right hand corner, there's a little teal box and it says Clarity TV.
Yeah.
When you click in there, it will take you through to an area where there's a catch-up TV. So in other words, whenever we do a Clarity Crafts TV show, we store it, we record it, and we store it in there.
Yeah.
And we also, next to it, whichever show it is, and they kind of, the latest one gets they
top.
get and they just get pushed back. So the longer ago it was, the further down it will be.
Yeah.
Okay. But what we do is we offer up now these downloads.
And these are lovely because it tells you the time, it tells you the date, what it was called, what was made, a finished image, and then it lists the ingredients that was used to create this.
Yeah.
Now you may think of that and look at that and think, goodness me, I need all of that to create that. You do, but you don't, because it depends on what level you want to take it to.
Yeah.
And on this same one here, a lot of these products on this one are used here. So there's always that crossover, like the starter kit. Once you've got the starter kit, if you're using Groovy, then you need a plate mate from the starter kit sort of thing. So, but for if any of our friends are tuning in for the first time, then at least they know, oh, I need the starter kit. What's the starter kit? And you can go and look that up.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and also one of the things. So these are the two projects, for example, that Linda and Lynn Jackson prepared for us.
Yes.
And even though it would be impossible, you understand, to go through these, we could jump to the stages and I can show you. And the fact that you've got the pictures in front of you, you can then dissect it yourself.
That's
and
right.
You can always go to what we're doing here and watch us dissect it.
Yeah.
You know, and show you the tips on how to complete. So what I wanted to do, I thought it'd be really interesting too, to compare the two.
Okay.
So what I want to do is show you this one and compare it with that one, because they're very interchangeable.
It's the same but different, isn't it?
Yeah. So what we've got here is two different plates in the collection, but the whole technique is very interchangeable. Yeah. So let's have a look, for example. If I bring this one in here.
So this is what we concentrated on a little bit more this morning, wasn't it?
And I'm going to pan out a little bit, if I may.
You may.
Right, just to show you, so that we've got a little bit more space over here.
Yeah.
That's better. Right, otherwise it's just a little bit too tight. So I'm going to show you that particular plate, and you can see that it's exactly as it comes. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Now, let's show you the original of this one. So we haven't looked at this one.
No.
So let's just enjoy this for a minute. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'll tell you what, so this is a Linda Williams special, right? And what I wanted to do was also ask Paul to show us where these come from.
Yeah.
But let's just take a look at this plate, or this design here. and you'll see there's the white work. There's that lovely little pattern that I was talking about that you'd see on the chapel
so
walls.
on the plate, it's in the middle, but now it's been transferred to the outside of the frame, hasn't it?
So it's movable.
Yeah.
So let's just take a look, for example, on this particular. So I think sometimes I'm just going to give you that snapshot again, so that if you're looking and you want to see it real, because sometimes it's easier to copy or emulate a piece of artwork. So it's done with a groovy Pico dies.
For the outside frame.
Yeah, they're the nested Pico dies, aren't they?
They are.
And you can see that there's different layers of parchment. We'll talk about that.
And you've got that beautiful white work.
What a gorgeous colour as well.
It is. That's using our periwinkle and very violet parchment.
And just to show you, underneath, if I could just turn this round, right, I'll just show you under here, there's the same butterfly that's flat.
Yeah.
And then there's a decoupage butterfly
on top.
So that there's a butterfly on top there. See? Yeah, I know. Immaculate.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that glorious?
And it's been attached with our lovely brads on there as well.
And it's the white work. Check out the white work. I bet, right, I bet, dime to a dollar, that Linda used a little white pencil as well.
I think she may have. But we're not going to give away all of Linda's secrets, are we?
Let's have a look at the two of them. I reckon she did, though. So we've got those two now.
Yeah.
One's done with that plate.
The design on that one is the plate exactly as it comes as well.
Yeah, so here it is as well, exactly as it comes.
Yeah.
Right, I think that's worth noting.
I think it is, because you can see, you can create lovely artwork just by tracing the plate out, can't you?
You don't have to overthink it.
No.
You know, I mean, sure, if you want to change, I think sometimes it's just as it comes. You've got so many different other design. The only thing I would say is that sometimes, let me take this as a bit of a viewfinder. If I was to use it, that on its own would be magnificent, or that piece on its own. So sometimes if you wanted to make a smaller centerpiece, look,
like a mini make.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get a kind of a viewfinder. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, just check out sections.
Different areas.
Sometimes you don't want the whole thing.
No.
You know, especially there are time constraints, you know. We don't all have as much time. Having said that, I'm retiring. No, I'm not. But what I was going to say is that when you do parchment art, and you'll understand this, it's not like making a card. So Sam Crow, myself, when we're making cards, like inky painty cards, right, usually you start and you're going to finish in that session.
Yes.
You know, when we make an inky stencil stampy card, I usually start and I intend to finish that day. Or at least in that period of time. Yeah. With this, that's not the case. No. Right? So when you're making parchment art, it's almost like embroidery. You almost have to have that mindset that you're going to do a little bit every day. Yeah. You know, that this is a project. So often parchers, they have several different projects on the go at the same time. And they'll be doing that card and that card. They'll be doing a bit of white work on that one, doing a bit of cutting on that one. So they've got several different cards going in parallel. They don't make one and then go to the next one and then go to, like we do. They're running in parallel. Yes. I know they are, because otherwise they'd never get anything done.
And I think that's, and for me, really impatient. I mean, when we first started with groovy and parchment, I wanted it white like that. So I would go on heavy and everything else, and it would go like
cauliflower.
Fluffy, and everything else. But you just have to adapt. It's just a mindset, isn't it? That once you get it into your head, right, in order to get the beautiful result, I've got to be patient. Yeah.
You've got to wait.
Yeah.
And when Linda says leave it overnight, what she means is leave it overnight, not leave it 10 minutes like I do. Yeah. And I know she's right, because the fascinating thing is, if you do obey her and you do what she recommends, when you go back the following day, you can feel it. You can feel it on the parchment, because it stops going so shiny. Yeah, it does. It's like a Nicorette. If you do it too much, right? If you do it too much, it goes all shiny and then it goes all popcorny. You know, like yours always used to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I said I'm going with a white pencil. See, and now it's been confirmed you can use a white pencil.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't get that Richelieu effect with a white pencil because it's not going to emboss it.
But it takes about a week to get to that fantastic lace effect, you know, and so you just have to wait, come back another day, do the next layer, and then if you fancy, then you work on something else and something else. And
but if you've got 5 plates to choose from, or 4 beautiful design plates, start one today, start one tomorrow, and then just do it that way.
That's exactly right. And if you think that a large plate, if you think that this is too daunting, then take your viewfinder, take your coaster or whatever you need to look, and then say, you know what, that would look so lovely, just that area there.
And I think also because you then have the confidence of doing that little mini make type thing, you then potentially become more creative when you say, well, I need to put a space in here, so I'm going to bring this flower in and stuff like that. And
then all you need to do is you either take your nested picot dies, and you cut yourself a piece of the size that you want, right? And then you put your edging round, and then you've got your frame, you've got your parameter, right? Whatever size you want it to be, make it. You know, I mean, the nested picots come in loads of different sizes, don't they?
I think it's
11 or something.
Something like that.
So then that way you could decide how big your piece is going to be,
and it's not as overwhelming.
It's a different ball game. And also when you're starting out, you might want to try a bit of this, try a bit of that, try a bit of this. So
is that what you did on that?
Yes, I did. Where did I go? This was another plate again. So let's just pop that over there. No. You're right though. So I took that plate because I wanted to check something out with whether you could picot cut the edge. And then whether or not it would be too delicate. You know, then it would, you know. And so I just did a little corner because I thought, well, I don't want to spend too long and then it doesn't work, you know. So I did something like that anyway. I found it somewhere, and then I filled in with the netting. And then I did a little bit of perforating just to show how you can go inside. Let me put the black behind so you can see. It's just a little tester. It's not a masterpiece.
But it's a good way of practicing. If you've created your piece of artwork and you're worried about, oh, is it going to look right? If you've got something like this, then you say the white work, perforating.
See, the white work, point in case, I used the number 1 tool, struggle. Right. Then I thought, no, I should have used the number 2 tool, and then it wouldn't go all. Look how it's gone all. See, it's gone a bit.
Oh, yeah, because
struggling.
The channel is quite narrow, isn't it?
And so because I used the number 1 tool, I couldn't get into there. No. And also I was getting impatient because I was panicking. So, you know, physician, heal thyself. Take your time. Use the number 2 or 3 tool.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process.
Keep saying that. Enjoy the process.
No, I love the process. It's just when you're trying to run a business and then you've got to go, you know, there is a little bit of a thing going on in my head.
An imbalance.
You know, because my legs are. Anyway, back to where we were. So we're back to this. And we'll take that one out. And we'll take a look at these. So we've decided that we've used parchment, which is a little bit bigger.
So on this one, it's A5.
On that one, it's A5. On that one, it's A4, because you can see.
Because of the picot squares on
yes.
that one.
So you can see here, we've gone a little bit larger.
Yes.
The designers, it's just the way so you've got to be aware of that. Other than that, it's exactly as it comes. So let's take the plates away for a minute. And let's just look at these. And this is where you start to see, because you look at them and you think, well, they've got nothing in common. That, apart from the fact there's a bit of white work and a little bit of Richelieu, you can see that colour. There's a, you know, there's a, but other than that, the only common denominator here is Linda Williams, really. Right? Okay, but let's just pop them up there for a minute.
Okay.
So we can see them. Now let's take a look at this one, because we said, didn't we, that when you trace it out, just what I was talking about just now, if you want to do the white work, then you
think ahead and do with the number 2 tool.
You think ahead and you use the number 2 or 3 tool. And I was being a little bit tongue-in-cheek, a little bit cheeky earlier on, and I said that me personally, I would have done this as a number 2 tool, so that the white work can be easy and I don't have that battle that I had there.
Yes.
Right.
But also you gave a really good tip this morning that if you were undecided while you were working with it, trace everything out in the number 2
exactly
tool. And then once you've got it all traced out, then you can look at it and say, right, well, actually, I want to do this, and so do it that way.
Exactly. You can always add it, but you can't take it away.
Boom, boom.
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to put that on my epitaph. Okay, so now here's the thing, though. So we're looking at this one now, and this is going to be, let me show you. This is that.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly as it comes.
Exactly as it comes. And this is that. There, like that.
Yeah.
Exactly as it comes.
Yes.
Yeah. But if we look at the actual process, forget the designs now, forget the picture.
Yeah.
Did it just get hot in here again?
It does. It's normally about 5:30.
Too weird for me. I've got to take my boots off.
Again? Oh my goodness. Let's have a look at the product shot then, shall we? While Bob starts to undress. So this lovely collection, which is 42439.
They're not even fur lined.
It's $44.95, and if you're a Diamond Club member, you get a 15% saving, which brings it down to £38.21. So value-wise, $38.21 is crazy. It really, really is. We're good to go back on the
Yeah, I've got no layers to take off. Right, let's have a look.
Do you want the window open?
Yeah, go on then.
I'll take my boots off. Mine are just slip on.
Oh, he's got his Christmas socks on still.
We've got to get the use out of them.
They're not the same ones though, surely.
No. It was an advent.
Oh, yeah. They were advent socks.
I mean, 8 of them were Christmas and 4 were every day.
Were they?
Yeah.
So, because we were doing advent.
Shall
Yeah, go on, show
Hang
me.
on. See if I can get my leg up, so to speak. Look, put it on the overhead. There we go.
Oh, look.
Christmas tree. Oh, God, I can't get it off.
So for Christmas, I couldn't resist it. We were in Lewis and I saw these, and it was an advent box of socks.
Yeah, it was.
So that's what you got for Christmas, because we've been advented out here, haven't we? Advent day 1, day 2 with the hunt and that.
Yeah. So,
anyway, back to the process. Oh, that's better. How is it that happens every day at 2
it's
o'clock?
about 2:30.
That's too weird for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Process.
Yes.
So what we've got, let's take a look. You can see whatever's done really lightly. Let's turn it over so you can see it even better.
Yeah.
You can see what's bright.
Yes.
Which is going to be bright here.
Uh-huh.
And you can see what's soft, which is where the white work's going to go.
Yeah.
When you look here, you can see exactly, there's the white work. But the process, friends, is exactly the same. You just got to decide ahead of time what's going to be white and what's going to be right. And the best part of it is, and I don't know where they are now, but the downloads, which Paul's hidden, you look at the downloads, they tell you, there's your guide right there.
Yeah.
You can see where the white work is. So those pictures will tell you exactly where you need your number 1 and number 2
Absolutely.
So once you've done this, see, and you can see why this needs to be marginally larger because it's using the Pico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's also interesting is when you go to that level, the white work level, which we'll come back to, is exactly the same.
Okay.
Now, this is where it gets interesting, though, because the next level, let's fast forward. Let's pretend we've added some colour.
Yeah.
Right. So the next layer is colour.
Okay.
Because you're going to put colour in before you do anything else.
Yeah.
Right? So we put the colour in. But now let's take a look at the white work.
Okay.
So we're going to go into there.
Yeah.
We've got that much with white work. This is where we're going to go in a minute.
Okay.
But this one is also the white work. Right, hang on a minute. Just get like that. Like so.
Yeah.
Right. So it's exactly the same. This is one stage further though. This one's had the centre cut out of it.
Right. Okay.
So I could do exactly the same thing and take the centre out of this one.
Yes.
All I've got to do is perforate around the image, just like this, and I could drop the middle out of this one.
Yeah.
Conversely, so what we're doing now, if I take, let me take a piece of this parchment and I pop this under here, then you can see where it's been cut out.
Yes.
Right, so now you can see that that's been cut out of here. in the same way, you could exactly cut that center out.
Yeah.
And that's where these Richelieu plates come into their own,
Yeah.
because they're offering you areas to cut out all the time. You know, when we were doing Maggie's coaster,
Yes.
and I kept saying, another cutting opportunity, another cutting opportunity, another cutting opportunity. It's not just another cutting opportunity, it's also another lace making opportunity.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
So like on here you got like all the leaves, so you could do the same on there.
Yeah, exactly that. And if you wanted to, you could take that next level, you could take that lace making plate.
Yes.
And you could then add you could add lace into these areas too. Now I'm not saying the whole thing, that'd be way too busy, but you could put a couple of bars in here.
So if you put that on top of that, would it show, or would it be too busy to show what you mean with that?
If I did this, that'd be way too busy. But in there, for example, you could put a couple of bars in there.
Yeah.
You see? So, and also this is almost like a strengthener. It would strengthen the design.
Yeah.
If you show us that one, you can see here how this acts as a fantastic join connector.
The bars
between this outside,
and the centerpiece.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see here how useful they are.
So we've had a question come in, Bob. Can we just jump to the front?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So Joanne Craig, will there be online courses for parchment sometime this year?
Well,
I would love to learn the shadowing properly.
The shading.
The shadow embossing or the shading.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were here in the morning, you will have heard us saying that Louise Goldin, an old friend and colleague of ours, is back in the building. She starts in February, and her job when she comes is to help us do online courses. And her focus is Pergamano and tutorials. That's going to be her game. So
and this is a piece
exciting.
of her artwork that you was just looking at.
There you go.
So if you look at the level of that, I mean, and she learnt from the best. She went all the way down to Wales, to Linda,
several occasions. On several occasions.
So
and also, of course, we've got the retreats. We're going to be doing online workshops. I don't know where the lady is that just asked.
Doesn't say. Maybe Gracie would be able to let us know where Joanne is based.
Yeah, but Joanne, we are doing retreats down here in Kent. If you're around,
I'm sure Gracie could pop the link up to all of our events and everything.
Yeah. So absolutely, watch this space. That's exactly what we thought was missing in our range.
Yes.
You know, we do lots of free guidance.
Yeah.
We're just an hour, you know, but if you want to explore it in more depth, exactly. So that's where we're going with it. Okay. So what I wanted to do is just flag up the fact that there's a lot of interchangeability here. And if you look at the perforating there that's done with the grids, which I love that look. Okay. So that perforating could just as easily, instead of cutting this out, you could have put that over there.
Yeah.
You know, and you wouldn't cut it out. You'd be doing that on the layer that
the top layer. Yeah.
Before you cut it out. Okay. So I'm glad that I got that out of the way.
Yeah. Very well explained.
Oh, thank you. So let's take a look. Let's fast forward on this one.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do was look at the white work on here.
Yeah, because there's definitely a difference in the brightness of that white work. So this is where the patience comes in.
This is where the patience comes in. Also, let's put that to one side. Let's look at the white work. We were looking at the ball tools.
We were indeed.
So we've got, like, in the starter kit, we've got ball tools.
Yeah.
But really, if you want to get into it, then you're going to start needing other ball tools. Paul, over to you.
Yeah, okay, so on the screen you've got item number 70476. It's a Pergamano ball tool trio. You've got the 3mm, the 4.5 and the 6mm. So normally £23.97, you get a £3 saving, which brings it down to £20.97. And if you're a Diamond Club member, it brings it down to £17.82.
So that's the bundle
item number,
price.
yeah.
Okay, and this is Linda's best mate. Apparently,
the 6,
I feel
the biggest ball.
Offended.
No longer the best mate.
A big ball.
It could be a tool.
Steady. I might have a sharp pointed object. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And what you'll find is I've just brought in an A4 mat. This is what comes in the starter kit, right?
Yeah.
Hard on one side for colouring. Sorry about this. But on the back, I'm going to come to this camera.
Yeah.
On the back, you'll see it's soft.
Squidgy.
It's squidgy. That camera don't want to play. Okay, let me just pop that there and see if that will help.
We're looking up above.
Sometimes, yeah, this camera's being fired. There you go. Let's do that. Eventually, it will get there. Excuse me 1 minute while I sort this out.
Let's have a look at the pack.
That's it. We're there
The
now.
back. Okay.
Okay. So if I go to this camera,
Yeah.
what you'll see is it's soft.
Yes.
But sometimes when you're starting out, it might be a little bit too soft.
Mm.
So what we're going to do when we do the white work, let me just go to one that's been done partially.
Okay. So this is where you have to learn how much pressure to apply, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's start with one that's completely not been done, just been traced out.
Okay.
At this point, you take your number 6, your largest ball.
The largest
tool.
ball that will fit into the area.
Yeah, that's it. So let's come in a bit closer so you can see that. In fact, let's come in a bit closer even more. So when you do this, and I've got my mat here,
Yeah.
and I've got my number 6 tool, I'm gonna settle in now for a session, right?
Okay.
For session, sounds like I'm going on it. It's Friday. No, but what I'm gonna do now, and I've got to remember that what I want to do is put these. I want to put these little lines. You see the veins?
Yes.
Because we want. So I don't want to do the entire
petal.
Yeah. Even at this point, I'm starting by leaving a gap
Leaving
here.
a gap, yes.
Yeah. What the white work does is it gives you the highlights. So what you have to do, it's the opposite. It's the opposite to when you're colouring in with a pencil.
Mm.
When you're colouring in with a pencil, you're usually adding the shading. You're adding the low lights, the dark area.
Yes.
When you're working on parchment, you have to think in reverse. What you're doing is adding the bits that the light would hit. Okay. So if you think about it like that, then it's quite easy to just think where the light's going to go.
Mm.
And that's the bit. And the bit where there's a bit of shadow, like in a leaf or a petal, it goes like that. The bit that drops down, you avoid.
Yes.
So that's straightforward. So here, for example, if we look here, and I've got the soft mat underneath.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just go in that area there, and I'm just going to use that bit there and that bit there. And I know you think, well, I can't see what you're doing. Well, do you know what? I can't either, but
I can.
Is that there?
It's coming on the, yeah, you can definitely see it.
So you can see, and if you watched Linda do this, she wouldn't do not a lot more than that. That's the truth of it. You go, is that it?
That's probably a bit too white for Linda for her
yeah,
first
she'd
one.
probably go, hey, steady. See, and that's where you think, oh, I've got to do more. This is going to take all year.
Yeah.
Now, if you get impatient and you're using a black mat and it's too, so there's a poly bag, you know, like you cut out bags.
The plates come in those.
The plates come in. So slide, when you're starting out, slide the poly bag underneath the parchment, between the mat and the parchment.
Right, okay.
Right? Now, I'm isolating it, and I'm leaning on that.
Yes.
Because otherwise my hands get hot and sweaty, and then the parchment starts to buckle. Right, so now let's see. Let's turn it round. Again, I'm making the artwork come to me.
Okay, and you prefer to flick away?
I do. See, because I'm putting the light in.
Yes.
I'm adding what the light's going to hit. So I'm leaving this gap here.
Yes, you can see that.
So when you, I mean, I might be overcooking it a bit here, but I've already got a little bit more resistance because I put that poly bag in.
Yeah.
So that means that I'm a little more confident when I'm doing this.
Yes, exactly what you mean.
Yeah. I haven't got to worry that I'm going to suddenly
go through the parchment.
Yeah. See, so I'm going to put my ball tool here, and then I'm going to flick out, and I'm just gently going to do this much. And the reason I'm showing you with one that hasn't got anything on it at all is so that you see how much that's about the sum of it.
Really,
how much or how little, that's it.
Yeah.
For the first go, you think, really?
And then come back tomorrow.
Come back tomorrow. Or come back in a couple of hours. Or, to me, right, realism stepping in here.
Yeah.
Right, I would do all the flowers.
Yes.
And by the time I get back, by the time I've done all of them, I can come back here and go again.
Okay.
That's it.
So potentially what would be a good idea is to put like a little, maybe a white pencil mark if you started here.
Yeah,
and
just know which way you go around. And once you, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's go to the next So then next time you go around, you go to the next
Next
ball.
ball
Although
down.
Linda, she'd go back in with that
Back
one
in
for a
with that
couple of
one.
times first. You know, there's a reason why she is the master parcher. She is.
I know.
She's a master.
Pergamano master
tutor.
tutor, and there's only 2 in the world, and lovely
She's one of
Linda
them.
is one of them.
Aren't we lucky?
We're very lucky.
So now, see, I can just flick through. I'm going to go gently now. And what you'll do is now, with this particular, you go in a bit closer to that. So you're tightening up that
grey space. Yes.
Yeah. So where are my Dame Ednas?
Okay.
Right, my Dame Ednas are my magnifiers. Oh, that's better. Right. So now, you get in there and then you flick a little bit. Right. And as you do this, you get a bit closer to this center.
I can see that.
And it's going to get a bit darker. But I'm flicking, I'm here and I'm flicking up. So by the time I get there, it's gone.
It's gone. So it's like striking a match, isn't it, away from yourself?
That's it. That's striking a match. Good. But you can see, so when I turn it over, you see it's going, and you don't have to press harder. The smaller the ball tool, the harder it will get anyway.
Yeah.
Now, all right, at this point, I'm doing it wrong because I really should be waiting.
Yes.
But for the sake of argument, I'm going to show you. Third time,
yeah,
let's say, you go in and you go over the same area again. Now I can feel that I really need to be leaving this.
Yeah.
It's starting to get shiny. So now, as I come in here, though, so you get more control as well. As the
ball gets smaller, you can see more.
So now I'm coming in more.
Wow.
You'd really feel the benefits of this if you waited a day before you did this. Because you can see now, look how tight I can get in there on that.
Yeah.
See?
Wow.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
I can't see a thing.
Open your eyes.
This is Dame Edna's. Unless I've got my nose on the parchment. Oh yeah, no, that looks better. So that, let's say, in essence, that's the game.
And it is that process.
Right, you start with the biggest ball tool, you work down to the next smaller.
Yeah.
So I think this is what Joanne is talking about. I think is this, and getting those flowers. So Linda, I remember we've got those brilliant plates. They're like sampler plates or testers. So you got a flower in large.
The 1, 2, 3s.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
plates.
we had them on.
Fantastic.
It would have been on one of our shows at the beginning. I think it was the first Monday of January when we announced New Year, New Idea, the mini makes, and it was on the Tuesday. You had the stamps, and then I had the groovies on the Sunday, on the Tuesday. So whatever that was.
They're fantastic for learning
those processes.
Oh, really good. And when you make the flowers, to me, I get such a lot of satisfaction out of getting those little creases in you.
Yes. See, I always struggled with the ball tools.
Right.
And when we brought the shader tools back, I could do this.
Could you?
Yeah.
It's the shader tool.
It's the shader tool because I can see through the shader tool.
See, interestingly, I'm a ball tool person, but I love the shaders as well. I must say, we've got them on. We've got them on the website. But you see, like that one. Let's look at it from the top. This one's been done. I could make that whiter.
Yes.
If you wanted to, you could go whiter again. But let's look over here. I just did one there to show.
You can just see that.
You see that it's already moving.
Okay.
Right. Now let's say that somebody's really heavy. So, see, I'm going to go in with the 4.5. Play it safe.
Okay.
So the middle of the road, right? And then I can see. So say we've got somebody that's really heavy-handed.
Like me.
Oh, you're pretty good.
I have learned.
It's you don't have to press. You just have to keep doing this, don't you? Long stroke, short stroke, long stroke, short stroke, long stroke, short stroke, long stroke, short stroke.
Which is the same type of process you do when you're colouring in, don't you? Yeah. When you're building up your colours in the shack.
See, so now I'm just going in here, and I'm breaking down the wall. That wall.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't go to Parchment University, but I watched Linda very carefully. Now, the other thing is, what I was saying was, when people are really heavy-handed, see how it's just changing it there?
Yes.
Right, so eventually you get to this.
Right.
But what I found was the pink mat is a real game changer.
My best friend.
This is Paul's best. It's pink. What can I say?
Not because it's pink, but because of what it does.
I know. Oh, Paul.
So the item number for the Pergamano embossing mat Excel, or the excellent embossing
You
mat
walked
pink
straight
mat.
into
Of course
that.
I do, always do. Item number 70075, 19.99. You got a £5 saving on that, which is £14.99. And if you're a Diamond Club member, that brings it down to £12.74.
And do you know what? As soon as you put the pink underneath, well, not pink, that's because it's pink, but because as soon as you do this, it's just
You can
so
feel it
much
straight
more
away, can't you?
forgiving.
Yeah.
See, and I can go in here and I know, look, I could put stripes in there now. So if I wanted to, I could go in with the top. I'm showing off now. I could go in with the number, like now I'm going in with these ones.
Yeah.
I could actually go in and put stripes in within stripes, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So this is such a...
And the pink mat is not just for heavy-handedness, but it's also if you've got that soft, gentle touch as well. It really does make a difference.
So you see how you can start pulling in the... You can use this, and the smaller the tool,
the more definition,
the lighter it gets.
Stop.
There you go. See? So when you turn it over, you can really see how that's going to come together. So cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when you turn this over, now even this that's say been done to completion.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at it. Yes, very nice. Very, very nice.
I wonder who did that.
Actually, that was Lynn Jackson.
It was.
Another master. So is that working?
I think we Can you hear us? Let me just see with Grace.
Just pretend. Look. Yeah, no, we're on really. Is it working now? It's being fixed as we speak. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Grace said it's back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Run out of batteries.
Run out of juice.
But then, you know what? A little bit of silent crafting never hurt anybody.
Absolutely. And you prefer to craft in
I do craft in silence.
Yeah.
What about you?
Music.
Do you?
Or the TV on in the background.
Oh, no, I couldn't handle that.
Yeah. No, I have to have something in the background. I can't just completely quiet.
No, see, for me, it's all about just quietening the mind.
I mean, I couldn't tell you what was going on in the background. It's just a noise.
I couldn't have that on. Couldn't have music on or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
Because I'm in it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in it and I'm concentrating on every single thing that I'm doing. So let's take a look now, because you can see how, you know, I'm just building up that depth.
I know.
And it's building up beautifully. And you just reduce the size of the ball tool.
Yeah.
And you take your time and you slow down and you don't over egg it.
Yes.
If you're heavy handed, then treat yourself to one of these pink mats.
Yeah.
And then so that's really all we've got time for. I told you.
I know.
But that's okay.
Look at that. And I think that's what Grace was asking from a lovely friend that was asking the question earlier, Joanne, about these online courses and stuff like that. Because as you can see, if we go to the front, is that okay?
Yeah, good idea.
As you can see, it's not that quick process, as Barb was saying earlier. Like when you're getting all arty and grungy with your stamps and your mixed media, you know that in your head it's going to take, say, 10, 15 minutes. With this, it's that process, isn't it? That you just build up and you have to leave it. So that's why it's often good to have those several projects on the go.
I just want to show you a little tiny taster that I did.
Yeah.
See, so here, for example, and I probably rushed this a little bit because I wanted to get it white.
Yeah.
But you can see how it's working really well.
Yeah.
Okay. And because I did it really
you did it with the number 2 tool.
With the number 2 tool.
So you can't see that rigid.
No, there's no line.
No.
You see. And you could tease it as well. You'll find that every time you go back in, it gets shiny, then you leave it.
Yeah.
And then you go back in and it seems like the parchment cools down and then it gets whiter and whiter and whiter, right? And what's happening is, as you're doing this, you leave it a couple of days, see around the outside here.
Yeah.
Let's just do this bit. Let me show you. I'm going too heavy.
Yeah.
Linda will be tutting right now.
Yeah.
Right? But let's just say, really, I ought to be doing that one. No, that's too big. This one, that's it, you know.
The 4.5.
Yeah, that's it. So now, for example, let me just take that and turn that over, and you can see that it's starting to get whiter and whiter. I need to leave it a day.
Yeah.
This will get whiter and whiter. The idea is, you see, that then you perforate the back.
Yeah.
Can we take 5 minutes to do that?
Can. Yeah.
Let's have a go then. Right, so let's do that.
Okay.
And let's just at least get the back bit done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do to put that in?
Right. So let's go to this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you that, because I think that'd be really good.
Yeah, because it's that optical illusion, isn't it, that we looked at earlier?
Oh, wrong one. 3. If I go in there like that, you can see those dots?
Yes. The
Got it?
perforations. Yep. Got it.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to go to this one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use, right, let me just see. I need to do that. I need the grids.
Okay.
So the grids that I'm going to pick, we talked about these this morning.
We did.
I'm going to go with the straight one. Straight, bold. Okay. Straight, bold. I could do the little baby one as well, little mini one, but I'm going to stick to that one because it's the one I've got to hand.
On. Yeah.
Then I'm going to use my
plate mate from the starter kit.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then, see, if I go, let's put the colour in here.
Okay.
Right, don't say anything because I know, right? Yeah. I'm working from the front.
Yeah.
If I go in this direction,
then
I'm going to be straight that way.
You are indeed.
Right. Which is exactly, if I hold that like that, that's straight that way.
Yes.
But if I want it to look like a diamond,
Yeah.
I've got to turn it at 45 degrees. I'm working like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way, when I turn it round, the artwork's going to be. You see what I'm
At
getting
an odd
at?
angle.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I've got to turn it that way in order to work. I know it sounds weird, but that's how it is. Just strange. Just trust the process. Okay. So I'll take some.
Groovy tabs, which
tabs,
also
thank
come in
you.
the starter kit.
Right, and then I'll just pop that on there like so, because I'm only interested in the middle bit,
Yes.
the centerpiece. And you can see I've gone at it too hot and heavy, but I just want to show you this pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think I'm going to use the light wave to do this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to use the light wave.
So we've got this on the screen at the moment. So it's item number 30566.
So let's pop that in.
Should be £62.96. You've got a £13 saving. Brings it down to £49.96.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Oh, that's even better. Okay.
And if you're a Diamond Club member, then that brings it down to £42.47.
It's okay.
White on white.
White on white has always been a challenge.
It's a lovely technique, white on white.
Yeah, it is. Right, let me put that over there for the moment.
Okay.
And what I'm going to show you, right, I've got a super foam.
Super foam.
And I've got the thin foam.
So the translucent foam comes with the light wave panel and the bag.
Yeah. So I've got these two.
Yeah.
I just want to show, I don't know if I'm even going to show, let me see if I bring it on that. Right, this is the thick one. You can see that. That's the thin one. If I come in on here.
Because it's got 3 levels of brightness.
Right. But you can see that it's brighter on the thin one than it is.
Yes.
If I come, I'm just going to check
try.
Right.
There we go.
It's not bad, actually.
No, I think the camera's on
camera's not showing
in the
us
studio. It's better.
It definitely is.
It diffuses it even more, the thickness.
I'm going to use the thin one.
Okay.
That's my point, because I don't want to diffuse it too much. Right. I want to be able to see what we're doing.
Okay.
So I'm wondering now whether this is going to show us, because it might be too bright. I might bring it down a bit. What about if I bring it down? It's not going to do it. For some reason, that overhead camera is really not playing today, is it?
No.
No, we've done something to it and it's not working.
It says you're not going to go white on me today.
Right, I'm not using the light wave then.
Okay.
I can't.
Yeah.
That was that.
Okay.
It's all right. It's a good job it's not live
but
TV.
At home, you won't have an overhead camera. But for me, even if I'm crafting at home and I'm just tracing out plates, for me, the light panel makes a big difference, because I don't want to have the big overhead lights on. I just want the table lamp on.
Yeah.
And then it means it doesn't disturb anybody in the room.
Well, now I'm going to use the thick super foam.
Okay.
Because I'm going to perforate.
Yes.
Right. And what I'm going to do, see, I'm doing it on a test rather than do it on my best one. I'm not going to do it on my masterpiece. I want to make sure that I've got my eye in and I know what I'm doing. So what I need now, I'm using the straight bold.
Yeah.
So I need
your bold tool.
I need my bold tool.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go every other hole. So I need the one needle.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with my one needle bold tool. And then let's see. Okay. So I'm going to stay in this area here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good.
Let's see if we can see this. Yeah. And I've abandoned. What's wrong?
I was looking for your groovy guard for you.
The groovy guard.
This is why you need more than one groovy guard. I thought it might help.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Right. There we are. So now what I'm going to do, because I've got it at an angle. So I wonder if you can see this okay. Yeah, I reckon.
I can see that.
I bet we could come in a bit tighter. Now, so what I'm going to do here.
Yeah.
Damn nerves. Do you ever wish you hadn't said, oh, let's do this quickly?
But we know quickly and parchment don't go together.
Right, so look. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go every other one.
Okay.
And then I'm going down one. Can you see that all right?
I can see that.
Then I'm going to alternate every other, and then I'm not going to hit that. So then every other one.
Yeah.
Have I done something wrong?
No. You're holding your breath.
Every other one. So I go down a line, every other one. And I'm just avoiding. Once you get into a rhythm, it's actually okay. You
It
go
is,
along here.
yeah.
Right, every other. Oh, then you don't want to get into it like that. See, so you want to decide whether you want to do that one or not.
Yeah.
Like so. So
And this is why it's good to practice as well, isn't
yeah.
it?
And this is why I don't listen to music and I don't talk and I don't do it on live TV.
No, you wouldn't want to do it on live TV.
See, and now, right, the only top tip I can give you is don't talk and hold it over there before you pump.
Commit.
Don't commit and then go wrong.
Yeah. That's the thing with the perforating, you can't hide a perforation unless you put a butterfly on it.
You're doing this from the front.
Yeah.
But I just want to show you, right, and when you get near the edge here, best you could, I wouldn't bother, right, but you could take a one needle. Oh, is that right? Yeah, hang on. Sometimes when it gets like this and you're filling in shapes, it's almost better to, yeah, see? So then you go along here.
Yeah. So continue the line before.
And then you can go back on yourself.
Yes, because it's easier to create that pattern then, isn't it?
So this is how Linda created
that effect.
That effect.
Card.
Yeah. And it's actually quite, can you see what I'm doing here?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
I just wanted to show you how achievable this is.
I mean, I was doing something similar with embossing, using the plate to emboss the dots into the background. And when I was getting to the rigid edge, I would just ignore it, do the main part, and then go back in and see where I needed to add a little bit.
See, and then when you take, see now, it's the right way round here. When I turn it that way, it's square. Look. So when I turn it round the right way, I've made it square. I was doing it the right way when I should have had it that way. Do you see?
Oh, yeah.
Now, what have I done there then that was wrong? Do you see?
Yeah, that's straight. Yeah.
Right? I thought that when I was doing it, I thought I'm actually doing what I want to see. But that's okay because now we can see the difference.
Yes.
If you turn it, you can see.
Well, yeah, so that's how it goes on your card now, like that.
So I'm putting it on the card like that. That's the way I wanted it to be. That's how I wanted it to be.
Yeah, of course you did.
Where's the card though? The green card. Thank you. So I want to show you that the way I've done it is exactly how you got. Oh, I see. Of course. Yeah. See, it's straight like that.
Yeah.
And then I turned it like that. Now it's the right way.
Yeah.
So you can see exactly, depending on how you want it to sit, you've got to turn it.
Turn it.
And that's why you do
practice.
a little practice piece so that your holes are actually.
You've done all of that.
I would be spitting feathers, right? But it just goes to show you that that's how. But that's it. Every other one, right?
Gives you that lovely pattern.
And when you look at the back there, so now you look at it there and it's straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. You turn it like that and it's got that diamond effect. Look.
Yeah.
Isn't that different?
Yeah.
I actually like that now.
It's the optical illusion, isn't it?
Yeah. But it just goes to show you that's the difference.
Yeah.
Just in case you were thinking that it's a diagonal, it isn't. It's just been turned on the diagonal.
Yeah. On the straight, yeah.
It's on the straight, every other one.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done now. Can I go home yet? Thank you so much for joining us. Linda, thank you for your fantastic artwork.
And the design team. And what we're going to do, we'll get the rest of the artwork scanned in, and then over the course of on Monday, it will all be on the whole against the product. We did some of it to get started with, but we'll get that done. So you can always go back and look for some inspiration on the artwork that we didn't get a chance to show as well.
That's it. Okay, so thanks ever so much for joining us. I hope that you got something out of that.
Yeah.
I really hope that you enjoy these Richelieu plates. Watch this space for more workshops, more inspiration and education coming your way.
Absolutely. And we'll be back with you on Monday, 10 o'clock in the shack.
10 o'clock in the
With
shack.
the O for
We're
owls.
O for owls. We're going to do some stippling and get those lovely downy owls going.
Lovely. And then we're back at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with a lovely set of stamps.
Yeah, very nice.
Yes.
You going to tell me what it is yet?
It is Kiss Tina's Flowers.
Oh, I
stamps.
love Kiss Tina's Flowers. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Have a great weekend.
yeah. Thank you, Grace, and everyone in the